Hey everyone, today I want to break down the absolute chaos unfolding in Washington right now. It's August, but instead of focusing on moving the country forward, we're in the middle of a shutdown crisis. Why? Because Republicans can't even organize their own caucus to pass funding levels that they already agreed to. And what do instead? They introduce one of the most dangerous, radical budgets we've seen in years. Let's talk about what's really in this GOP plan, and who pays the price.
15th, but we're in the midst of a shutdown crisis because Republicans can't even organize their own caucus to pass funding levels that we already agreed to. And now they launch some of the most radical cuts to healthcare, to housing assistance, to food assistance, to the postal office, and nearly every program under the sun, all while doing nothing to rein in our nearly $1 trillion Pentagon budget, or the trillions they have handed out to millionaires and billionaires through the Trump tax cuts. There's a lot of awful stuff in this budget. There are millions of vulnerable children, moms, and dads, and more who will literally have Medicaid taken from them. There are massive cuts to food assistance, literally starving families who are already struggling with food prices. There is the totally kooky math, which, as the $1 trillion they claim to save from improper payments, even though every expert will tell you this is bogus. And there is the commission. They tuck into the resolution to slash Social Security and Medicaid, despite their attempts at denying they want to cut these vital programs. But what is most sickening is that they entirely leave in place the Trump and Bush tax cuts to benefit them and their friends, which have cost over $10 trillion and are responsible for almost all of the increasing debt ratio. Permanently extending the Trump tax giveaway would benefit households in the richest 1% more than twice as much as those in the bottom 6% as a share of their income, providing roughly $41,000 tax cut for the top 1% at a cost of around $300 billion per year. This is on top of handouts to millionaires and billionaires already receiving from the permanent provisions of the Trump tax cuts. Oh, and on top of that, they defund enforcement of high-earning tax cheats. In his opening remarks, the chairman even said, "We don't need an army of IRS agents." Well, guess what, Chairman? Increasing tax enforcements would raise over $1 trillion over the next decade, according to the most recent research. So you have to ask, who stands to benefit from all of this? Well, it turns out millionaires look out for one another. It's the Republican members of this committee, at least 9 of whom are millionaires, according to the latest data from Open Secrets. That includes Buddy Carter, who has vocally pushed to slash Medicaid and take away health care from his constituents, who himself is worth $33 million. And it includes Ralph Norman, one of the most extreme advocates for taking away food assistance from working people, who's worth whopping $43 million. In his opening remarks, the chairman said, "There's a difference between the president's priority and ours." He is right. President Biden is worried about taking care of the country. The president is about making sure the economy works for everyone, that kids have enough food to eat, and that millionaires and billionaires pay their fair share. As Humphrey once said, the moral test of government is how it treats those who are in the dawn of life, the children, those who are in the twilight of life, the aged, and those who are in the shadows of life, the sick, the needy, and the handicapped. Clearly, Republican colleagues are failing that test. Thank you, and I yield back.
Thank you, and now yield to my friend from Buffalo, New York.
The chairman said it himself. There's a difference between the president's priorities and ours. He's right. President Biden is focused on making sure this economy works for everyone, not just the rich. Making sure kids have food, that working people get health care, and that the ultra-rich pay their fair share. As former Vice President Hubert Humphrey once said, the moral test of government is how it treats those who are in the dawn of life, the children, those who are in the twilight of life, the aged, and those in the shadows of life, the sick, the needy, and the handicapped. This budget fails that test. If you agree it's time to stand up, for truth, for fairness, for the people, then do me a favor. Click that subscribe button, like this video, and drop your thoughts in the comments.